Fresh explosions rock Beirut as Israel expands its ground offensive into new areas of Lebanon. France's President Emmanuel Macron says 88 French-speaking countries have called for an immediate ceasefire in Lebanon. Thousands protest outside the offices of state media group MTVA against what they say is a government-run propaganda network. Fresh explosions have rocked Beirut's southern suburbs into Sunday as Israel expands its bombardment into new areas of Lebanon. The blasts in the capital began around midnight after Israel's military urged residents to evacuate areas in Dahia, a collection of suburbs on Beirut's southern edge. Israel's attack on the Badawi refugee camp in the north killed an official with Hamas's military wing along with his wife and 2 daughters. An IDF spokesperson said that since the start of the ground operation on the 30th of September, Israeli forces have killed 440 Hezbollah militants and destroyed more than 2,000 targets. And in a post on X, the military said it found and dismantled a 250-meter-long tunnel in southern Lebanon that it says Hezbollah had intended to use to enter Israeli territory. At least 1,400 Lebanese, including civilians, medics and Hezbollah fighters, have been killed and 1.2 million driven from their homes in less than 2 weeks. French President Emmanuel Macron has said that 88 French-speaking countries have called for an immediate ceasefire in Lebanon. Speaking at the 19th Francophonie summit in Paris, Macron also said the group had approved an international conference to support Lebanon, which will take place later this month. Those comments are in response to an Israeli ground operation into Lebanon launched at the end of September to take out Hezbollah positions close to the Israeli border. And since the launch of the Lebanon offensive, at least 1,400 people have been killed and 1.2 million driven from their homes in less than 2 weeks. But Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu blasted Macron's comments, particularly his suggestion that France might suspend arms sales to Israel. He said his country was fighting a war on 7 fronts to protect civilization. Meanwhile, thousands of protesters took to the streets of the French capital in support of both Lebanon and Gaza and to criticize French arms sales to Israel. Thousands of people have staged protests across Europe in support of Palestine as the first anniversary of the Gaza war approaches. There were peaceful protests in Rome until a smaller group tried to push the rally toward the center of the city despite a ban by local authorities. That sparked clashes between police and some protesters. In London, thousands marched to Downing Street amid a heavy police presence. The Met Police say at least 17 people were arrested after scuffles broke out between opposing protest groups. Rallies were also planned in several other countries across Europe, including Greece, Denmark and Switzerland. The war started on the 7th of October last year after Hamas launched a surprise attack into Israel, killing 1,200 Israelis and taking 250 hostages. More than 41,000 Palestinians have been killed in Gaza, but the health ministry doesn't differentiate between fighters and civilians in its count. Nearly 100 Israelis are still being held hostage in Gaza. Thousands have protested outside the headquarters of state media organization MTVA in Budapest against what they say is a propaganda network operated by the government. The protest was organized by Hungary's most prominent opposition figure, Péter Magyar. He entered the building and tried to read out his TISA party's 16 points for media reform on air, but was later removed. Hungarian and international observers have long warned that press freedom in the country is under threat. They say that Prime Minister Viktor Orban's Fidesz party has used media buyouts by government-connected business tycoons to build a pro-government media empire. Media watchdog Reporters Without Borders estimates that such buyouts have given Orban's party control of 80% of Hungary's media market resources. In 2021, the group put Orban on its list of media predators, the first EU leader to be named as such.